I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew Salchunas, John Kincaid to my left, and right across, directly in the sight line, Amy Fadool has joined the show. Amy, it's lovely to see you on this Friday morning.
You guys. It's good to see you.
Is this last day of school?
Last day of school. We are TE school district, so that is I think it's the last day of school. A lot of people that I know, there's some people that go into next week. God bless. So sorry. Prayers to you and your kids.
Do they do the, I know when we were in Georgia.
It's a half day.
Also, it was the water balloon. It was the water cannons, the water balloon fights, and everything on the last day.
Yeah, we don't do it on the last day. Field day is like a couple, in case there's like kids that don't come on the last day because it is a half day. I think they make the field day, which is that kind of day.
No, this was earlier. At the bus stops. When the kids would come home, the parents would ambush the kids. On the last day of school. That was a Georgia thing.
Knowing
that would be as the kids come home, it's the last day of school, and as the kids get off the school bus, the parents bombard them with water balloons and water cannon.
Yeah,
water
Uncle
guns.
Ricky Bo is coming by later today.
Exactly.
To
He'll just do
Ricky Bo would be great.
Get 98 up and in.
And they would love it. They would love it.
Would.
Yeah, that's the tradition in the South. Is the parents ambushing the kids, and then they always have like treats waiting for the kids so they get off the bus. But the kids are just swamped with water.
There is that. There's like people that get like Kona ice trucks and things like that for their street. But
nice.
We're just rolling through and
love it.
You just come home.
Funny you bring up the last day of school because it's similar to what our main topic is today on the Philadelphia Eagles. They wrapped up mandatory minicamp, and now, much like the kiddos are heading into summer break, the Eagles are hitting this about 6-week stretch
a little bit longer
in between
this year than it is.
Yeah, because everything's pushed back for the NFL schedule this season.
Plus, they got out early.
Yes, they did. Well, that's just talking about the Eagles. We hope that doesn't happen this year.
Exactly.
But as we hit this break, kind of the dead zone of the summer, and I keep reiterating, doesn't mean we're not going to talk about the Eagles for the next 6 weeks or so. It doesn't mean we're not going to have points of news that pop up. But you're going to have a lot of time to think about where this team is at right now. So we're taking a temperature check. So when I say that to you, and it's kind of the idea of like an open world video game. You can go anywhere you want with this when it comes to the Eagles. I want to see where your mind goes. How are you feeling about where they're at as they prepare for a huge season? A lot of change, a lot of questions, not just the A.J. Brown stuff, but the change in the offense. I mean, there are a lot of things that further than this season will be determined by the Eagles' success or failure this year. So with the high stakes, Amy, what are you feeling right now with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I want to feel optimistic. So maybe it's cautiously optimistic because there isn't anything, overwrought about like, I'm really concerned about this. I wouldn't say I'm really concerned about anything. Do I have questions about who's going to be the number 2 wide receiver? Yeah, I have questions. That's a camp battle that everybody's going to be watching. Do I have questions that Jalen Hurts is going to be able to mesh in this new offense? Sure, that's normal. He's shown in the past when it's a legitimate offense. I want to preface it by saying that he's been fine, right? He's been able to step up to the task when he's had offensive coordinators that have known what they were doing. We'll just go ahead and say
that's the nice way to put it.
Right?
Yeah,
I've been using they had a relative chimpanzee, running the offense the last couple of years.
They had.
It's not good.
I mean, I know he's had a new one every single year. That to me doesn't bother me that it's Sean Mannion. This is a complex offense. That also doesn't bother me. It's just the fact that he needs to be able to get on the same page as everybody else. And everybody else has to learn this new offense. It's not just Jalen Hurts, right? It's Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, the offensive line. They all have to learn. The offensive line is another thing that I'm like, it's great to see them all out at camp. I thought that was really good. But yeah, is there a question on that? Because they're so dependent. The Eagles are so dependent upon that line being healthy. When it's not, it completely messes everything up. That's true for the Eagles and literally any other NFL team. And defense, I don't really have a lot of question marks, which is maybe why I have more on the optimism side on that one. The safety is a little bit of a, hey, what are you going to do? Do you think you have enough people in-house? Is Marcus Epps the guy? I think that maybe they'll see what they've got and then make the trade. So I would say overall cautiously optimistic. Hope springs eternal.
That's a good way to put it. The example that I used earlier, I want to know if you've heard of these things. Do you know like the pain chart they show at the doctors with the smiley faces? John looked at me like I had 3 heads. He's like, I've never seen nor heard of this thing. But that's kind of what I wanted people to think of when we asked this question about
the small smile.
Small smile? Okay.
Small smile.
I think that's good.
Now, the thing is, though...
I'm a little bit like, this could be a nagging injury, but
a little
I feel
uneasy.
Like I'm okay.
My wife, I guess, was taking the dog to Canine Resorts, which is, by the way, a great place in Malvern. Dropped Nikki Foles off for the daycare. She gets... That little smiley face thing is for... Don't you remember Olivia doing that?
Yeah.
Like... Okay, I never have ever seen it.
Right, because they just give you a 1 to 10.
I said, exactly. I said, I didn't take my daughter to doctor's appointments.
Oh.
Like my wife did. Like I don't remember taking her in and going, here's the smiley face thing. When did smiley faces begin? The doctors never were, when I was a kid, the doctors were like, what's wrong with you?
They didn't even ask you 1 to 10, probably. They just
and he said,
what's your deal?
Connor goes back in the 40s.
What's your deal?
What did the doctor say?
You're fine. Yes. Rub some dirt on it and get back out there,
We
John.
got a war going on, kid. We don't have time for this.
Exactly. Get back there. We need you. We need you over in Germany, John.
People right now like, how old is John?
Man, it's unbelievable.
He sounds great.
It's unbelievable.
World War II
I told my child to walk off an injury once after a basketball injury. And when she came home from school the next day and took off her shoes, she had purple.
Yeah.
Purple and yellow, and she had a broken
Yeah, my dad
I told
did that
Sean
to me.
he was fine.
Broken foot.
3 days, broken wrist.
I think that's a rite of passage for parents.
3 days.
Oh,
it was
my
a
gosh.
Friday. Happened on a Friday night, and then Monday he comes home from school, and they're like, he's been favoring his wrist. I'm like, that's fine.
Hey,
It was a buckle fracture. Kids happens all the time.
Boy.
Kids can be dramatic sometimes. Eagles fans can be dramatic. So a lot of people have been all over the place with this topic about the confidence level. John, more confident than most when it comes to the Eagles, I think. And I think you have every right to. Now, we're going to get our Twitter poll numbers later on a couple times before you're out of here, Amy. But our question was about how you're feeling now compared to when they walked off the field against the 49ers.
Oh, I would think you're feeling better.
We have like 10% of people saying worse and like 30% saying the same last time we checked it.
I guess there's that cautiousness of just like the unknown, right? And maybe that's where if you're leaning in that more in the unknown, you're going to vote for the things are the same. I mean, I think the feeling better is probably where I know it's where I would lean just because of some of the things I just mentioned, but I feel like that there's hope with the offense. The offensive coordinator is going to be, we're depending on you, Sean Mannion, as a fan base.
Yes.
There's a lot riding on you and what you've got as far as, your offense, but there's a lot of promise, and what you've seen when he's done and what that offense has done, I think is where I lean. I'm going to put my eggs in that basket and my hope in that basket that it's all going to come together. Now, the cautiousness is that, you hope that everybody else is going to be able to catch on. And, watching the practices and stuff, like how much I was talking to Dave Zangaro yesterday, like how much can you glean? He's like, I mean, you could see who's out there and you can see certain things about players. But as an overall, like, do I have a grasp on the offense? No, you don't, because they're still installing it. And it's a couple days of, camps, whether it's the mandatory mini camp or these voluntary workouts and whatever else they want to call them. But I think you saw enough that you thought, all right, well, at least there's some semblance of something working the right way. So that's where I would lean. But negative, I can't imagine you feel worse than how they felt at the end of the season.
Yeah.
The end of the season, you thought, we have no offensive coordinator. We had a wide receiver who hated us. And then you had a defense that was, that was good, but it had been a little bit banged up, and, offensive line that was completely decimated. Now you have an offensive line that's back. You have a defense that's completely shored up, save for the other safety position. I think there's some questions there, but you feel good on all three levels of the defense. And then offensively, yes, you lost a huge talent in A.J. Brown, but you also lost the drama that goes with him.
That's where Anthony on Twitter says the people who are voting, the 1 out of 10 who are voting that they feel worse, have to absolutely be the last ones to turn off the lights in the A.J. Brown fan cave.
That very well could be.
Yeah,
that they're probably the ones saying. Get. And we totally understand that.
I mean, it's a huge loss as far as production that goes on the field. The Eagles have never had a receiver with 4 straight years of 1,000+ yards. It's never happened. He's a 5,000-yard guy in 4 years here. He was immensely productive. His production did decline over those times, but that's also part of the offense. I don't think he declined. I think he's a very good, elite wide receiver.
You don't think he's declined?
I don't.
I do. I think he's
going to have an unreal year in paid.
I think his speed has declined. I think he had as we said yesterday, and Jeff Kerr had it was sharing it on the socials. Of 135 receivers who had 100 targets. So 135 receivers had 100 targets. He was 135th out of 135th in separation. That, to me, speaks to speed. It also speaks, as Connor pointed out, to your offense coordinator maybe not getting you enough separation.
And then maybe some desire.
And that's also a problem.
That is a problem. Now, that, to me, is a bigger problem than losing a step, is a desire.
Yeah, and that's why he's not here anymore, a big part of the reason.
But I think that I would anticipate, I mean, obviously it's May throwing to him and not Hurts. It's a different offense. But they're going to feed him the ball.
Oh, they're going to.
So they know that.
You kind of have to, right?
And also, who else? He is their clear number one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's their clear number one. So I think he'll have a good year. I think he would have had a good year here. There's no doubt he would have had another 1,000 yards.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind. I don't think he's lost a step enough of where it's like, where people are like, we're going to be fine. Yeah, there's going to be some growing pains because Devontae Smith is going to be singled out now. Like, he's going to get some of the protection that A.J. Brown afforded him. Like, I thought that was a really good one, too, because A.J. Brown out there, so Devontae Smith got some balls because of that. Now that he's not out there. But also, they didn't have to force feed A.J. Brown, right? They had to do that last year. Now they don't have to force feed anybody. You're not going to force feed Mekhi Lemon. No offense, Mekhi Lemon. You're a rookie. You get the ball when you get the ball. So that will free up Devontae a little bit in that regard.
See, you have these questions about the wide receiver room and making up for that loss, and all of that on top of your first point about the change in the offense. Like, I'll use a basketball example for people out there, and I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything, scare you, say, the Eagles are going to struggle to start the year. They may very well be fine. And this is going to be on the adaptability of the offense and the coaching ability of Sean Mannion. But when you first saw the Heatles, the LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade down in Miami, like the first month and a half of that, they looked like an average basketball team. And that was to be expected because it's like, hey, you got to learn how to play with each other, what you're trying to do there. It was different than what those guys had been used to. We're talking about 3 Hall of Fame talents. It's not an apples to apples sports comparison because it's different there with 5 guys on the floor. But even some of the great players of that era, you change the way that they operate on the floor, it's going to take time, and it's not going to be seamless. And if that raises questions for you about the Eagles, even if it's just early season, the NFL, you don't get a month and a half to make that adjustment.
No, you don't.
So we'll see.
Connor wants us to be patient.
Well, that may change this year.
That's the mom in you speaking.
He's never met us. Come on.
Yes,
I'm not. You know what's funny? You bring that up, and this is a conversation for closer to the season. The past couple years, I've been the patience guy on this show.
You have been the patience guy.
I'm not going to be this year.
Yeah, I just think that there's just too much riding on, as you mentioned, the runway is very short. Mm-hmm. You're looking at 2 weeks.
Yep, Titans, Commanders.
Wait a minute.
Commanders, Titans.
Wait a minute. I'm leaving July 31st.
And now it becomes...
And now you're going to...
Now it becomes a sense of urgency.
Now you're all of a sudden going to adopt my sense of urgency?
It's not based on who's around me. It's based on who's around them. It's on the Eagles.
You've made me beat my head against the wall with your patience routine.
Give us weeks.
I was right in 2024.
And now you're going to be the...
We gave you 4 weeks in 2024.
2024, I'm the one who told you from the beginning that they were going to be in the NFC title game.
You said where they were going. You weren't very patient in getting there. You were the kid in the back of the car asking, are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Which is fine because we did get there to New Orleans eventually. What a year that was. Maybe they can have it again this year. But the reason I'm not going to have patience is, like you brought up, you got 2 pretty easy games to start. I mean, one's divisional, but those are teams you should beat. I need to see things rolling before you hit that, like Chicago, L.A., Jacksonville stretch where you're playing some playoff teams.
And that's what I hate about the first game being treated as like a preseason extension. It's just, I don't like that. And I'm not saying that the players treat it like that, but it's kind of looked at across the board for everybody. Like, it's the first game. Like, it's the first game. You get 17 of these. Like, it's the first game. So it's game 1, and you need to make sure that is a game WON. Like, I don't know why in the last couple of years, and that's not just here in Philadelphia, it's all across the league, that first game is treated as like okay.
It's because they don't play in the preseason.
Exactly.
And it
annoys me.
And I agree.
You can't treat it as some nonsense throwaway preseason game. It's not.
That being said, the Eagles under Nick Sirianni
have never started their starters in the last game.
But also, week 1 has always been a W.
Yeah, they just have a way of doing it.
Hey, I do trust that's. Yeah, so I'm not being patient, but I do believe that they'll be able to get off
week
to
3.
a hot step.
That's like, all right, now you're running with the big boys. Yeah.
And that gets on you quick. We'll get there. We're not even to training camp yet, and we're already talking about the start of the
6 weeks.
See? Well, there's going to be plenty of Eagles conversation.
I'm fine with that, though.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the team that is in action right now, because you got a big-time pitcher that you're going to see tonight for the Philadelphia Phillies. We also talked about their matchup with Jake Mizorowski, who's having an insane year for the Brewers. And where my mind goes first, and maybe it should be the team, right? Oh, how do the Phillies look? How's this offense? Can they prove that they're actually starting to head in the right direction? My first thought is, if I'm these hitters, and I saw the month that Christopher Sanchez had in May, and I know that we got shut out in one of those games, and he lost an 8 scoreless inning start, I'm looking at this dude who's like fighting tooth and nail with Christopher Sanchez for NL starter in the All-Star game, NL Cy Young when we get deeper, and I'm saying, hey, it's on us to raise this guy's ERA a little bit. Is that where your mind goes?
Yeah,
first?
I think that, and I think those the players, when you hear from them, because the players are all asked about Sanchez, especially after starts, just in what he did in May, the streak of the unearned runs and the no runs period. 50 plus innings, which is wild. It's just it's incredible. It's an incredible feat, and what he's been doing and the numbers he's been putting up. I think that they all feel that I don't want to say, it's good pressure, right? They
responsibility.
Know, they know that. I think they feel that as a whole, and just in talking with them, they feel as a whole like we know we're a better offense than what we put out in April and early May, and most of May, to be honest. There was pockets in May that you thought, hey, but there wasn't any kind of consistency. So I think that they all feel that we know we're better than this, but they feel it even more when you have Zach Wheeler or Christopher Sanchez on the mound, because those guys are going to go deep into the game. They're going to get you at least 7 innings of probably scoreless ball, or at least one run, maybe. And if you can't win those games, that's defeating, and they don't want to let their teammate down, right? They know what they're watching. They know as hitters in the box. Brandon Marsh said it the other day, like, what would you do against Brandon Marsh? He's like, I would just, or Christopher Sanchez, I would just turn right back and walk in the dugout. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're watching. They see him. They're out there being like, they're playing outfield or in the infield and thinking, thank goodness we don't have to face this guy. So I feel like that they know that as a whole, but I think it's especially it's sharper on those starts of like, oh, Sanchez is pitching this way. I got to get up there and do something.
Yeah. It feels sort of, I guess, Halladay-esque.
Yeah.
Because even though Wheeler has been great here, something about this run of Sanchez seems slightly more dominant.
It's more close to Cliff Lee in 2011 as far as the scoreless inning streak. Cliff Lee had 2 separate, 30-plus scoreless inning streak in 2011.
That's incredible.
Which is incredible. But overall, the feel of the confidence, I think, gives you that Halladay-esque of like, well, we got this.
He has such swag.
As long as you...
A cool swagger.
It's just, we were joking at work because he's like Halladay, except for he doesn't go work out for an hour after he had a complete game shutout. That man was a robot.
Yeah.
And he was my favorite player by far, not even close.
I agree with you.
Love that guy.
Did you, as covering him and having a chance to see a little bit more of that up close, did you feel that there was something different about him? And do you see any of that in Sanchez?
You see the calm, cool, collected. And I think that's the mark of a really good pitcher, regardless. If you have good stuff or not, like you just can't let yourself get high and low. I think you see the professionalism. I think you see the ability to still laugh. I mean, Halladay was a great guy in the clubhouse, a very well liked, no surprise. Sanchez, the same way. People really like him. So I think you have to balance that because you can't just be they joke and they call Halladay a robot when he was there. And I think it was Brian Wilson one of the times, in the All-Star starters, he was just like, it's the robot because he had such a cool demeanor. I think Sanchez gives you that, but then you see them away from the mound and they're able to joke with their teammates. I think you have to have all of that. You can't just be completely locked in and in your own world. Sanchez is just, you're seeing that relatable guy that's out there, but then all of a sudden he just locks in. It's just like, well, I'm just going to be.
Did you see any of it coming?
I mean, I think you saw that he was going to be.
I mean, last year we saw it. maybe a little bit the year before, but
yeah, I mean, he's been in the discussion.
I never saw this.
Last year, he was definitely in the discussion. It's interesting.
This guy
came back. Came back to start this season, and if you remember that first 2 starts, everybody's like, "Oh, should be concerned about Christopher Sanchez
a little bit."
There was like not like an overarching like I'm really concerned, but there was definitely because he was a little bit shaky out of the gate. You're like, "Oh, he better find his stuff." Hilarious! It's hilarious to look back, and so. I could say that I saw that he was going to be a really good pitcher. Did I think he was going to set the benchmark for scoreless inning streak for the Phillies this season? No, I did not see that. His ERA, if it gets to 2, you're going to be like, ooh.
Yeah, but the part of it, too, that's interesting comparing to Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee is we've seen this guy become this. Roy Halladay came here as a Cy Young winner in the American League.
Those guys were already
was an all-star.
Yeah, they're already rock solid.
There's something else special about seeing it develop in front of your eyes. It's a special season for him and been a special run. We'll see if the Phillies can help out his case by putting some runs on Mizorowski tonight. Coming up, we are going to go around the sports world. I'm not sure if you noticed from the traffic, foot or auto in the city, but there's a pretty big event going on. We're going to talk a little bit about the World Cup, but also we've got NHL Finals reaction, NBA Finals reaction. Amy, we got a lot of stuff
all kinds
that's
of stuff
going on big nationally. So we will go around the world, we'll call it, coming up
around the world with Amy Fadool.
That's right.
That's a pretty.
I think that used to be Matt Lauer until he was locking people in his office.
Oh no.
And we'll go around the sports world here coming up next, and we're also going to hear some thoughts from our listeners on our big topics of the day. It is Kincaid and South Tunis, Amy Fadool in studio with us. Back after this here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and South Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Let's check in on what the people are saying. We've been talking Eagles and Phillies today. Amy Fadool in studio with us. Andrew Salchunas not. He's got the day off. He'll be back on Monday. So I'm Connor Thomas filling in alongside John Kincaid and Nick Earnshaw on the board. And we've been talking about the Eagles and your temperature check as they hit the break between mandatory mini camp and true training camp to get ready for the season. Also, the Phillies start a big series with the Brewers up in Milwaukee. It's not just the Mizorowski start tonight that should have your attention. This is one of the better teams in baseball. They're a National League team, and you're looking at a really statement series. Remember, the Phillies, they have not really played well against the top teams in baseball. Lost the series to the Dodgers when the Braves and Cubs were hot. That was the stretch that essentially got Rob Thompson fired. And you can see in record, like,
I thought I got Rob Thompson fired. I've been told by...
You did not. I was
told by somebody down at the Phillies press box that I contributed to that.
Huh.
I contributed to it.
Contributed, maybe. I don't think it was solely you.
I didn't get a starring role, but I got a contributing role.
But the Phillies haven't really had one of those series where it's like, this is a true bona fide playoff team. Right. They're one of the better teams in baseball. You go take care of business. That's a box yet to be checked by the Phillies. So there's a lot of stuff to get into. What do we have on the Davis Honda text line, Nick?
Yeah, Connor, we have a couple of people chiming in on the Birds, and John in Haddonfield said, I'm worried about another new offensive coordinator, but only time will tell.
It's okay to be worried about the constant change of offensive coordinators. That's a legitimate concern. The only thing I would say to you is that you've got a guy here who, let's just say everybody around football that has had contact with him is very, very praiseworthy of it. And who was doing that last year with Kevin Patullo?
Nick Sirianni.
Correct.
Yeah, that was about it.
Correct. And again, I will tell you that the 36 people, and it annoys the crap out of me, the Seattle Seahawks spoke to 36 candidates about their open offensive coordinator position. Off of a Super Bowl, same situation as the Eagles, they spoke to 36 people. Now, they didn't interview that. Well, they didn't call them like formal interviews,
right?
But they talked.
They did
to
their research.
36 people. The Eagles hired Nick Sirianni's buddy.
Yeah,
and I put that on Sirianni. I put that on him and Howie Roseman for allowing it.
But if you're worried about Sean Mannion, I mean,
there's reason for you haven't seen it yet.
I get that. Looking at what you had last year, I don't know how you can feel worse. Like, he's not going to be worse than Kevin Patullo.
No.
That's bad.
I'd bet anything.
Let's not set that as the watermark, okay? It's not. But I think that
we all fertilize.
Yeah, exactly. There it is with plants and the whatnots. You have to make sure that plant grows. I feel like the concern isn't necessarily about Sean Mannion per se, but it's about this is a whole new offense. You're missing one of the best receivers according to AJ, the best receiver. And let's be honest.
Oh, look, it's right. He has that argument.
He is the best receiver that's ever played here. I don't know if he meant receiver or just overall, but that's on you. We'll never know. So there is that concern, and it's Jalen Hurts, being able to mesh with this new offense and all the new pieces. The tight end is a huge part of this offense. That second tight end spot is actually going to be somebody that's pretty important. So is that going to be Munt, who they brought in? Is that going to be Stowers, who they drafted? Calcaterra's hurt right now. So there is some question marks, but I feel like they're question marks of like making sure it's going to be the best it could be and to like will live up to its potential. Not is it going to be like Kevin Patullo's offense? I don't think that I think there's a difference in the concern. We want to make sure it actually becomes what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
who we thought they are.
Question versus worry are two totally different things.
And I think that's the key.
Yeah, but you can. Yeah, I think you can be like, oh, well, I hope it comes to. I think it's more like I hope it comes to pass what everybody expects it to look like.
Right.
Not, oh my gosh, this guy has no idea what he's doing, and I'm concerned.
That's very Jalen Hurts conversation. We think we know what we're going to see. We'd like to see it. Having that question is fair, especially with where the bar is set for this team. Like Super Bowl's always on the table when you have a team like this in a city like Philadelphia. So, speaking of championships, let's do a little around the world with Amy Fadool, as John came up with that.
I like that.
Around the
name
world.
for the segment there. Little short turnaround, so we don't have an open for you on this because we just named it about 10 minutes ago. But
ridiculous.
Let's start with
Where's
the
Matt?
NBA Finals. What in the world are the San Antonio Spurs doing?
Not closing games out. That's what they're doing.
I mean, how do you even make sense of what this series has been? The comebacks, the end of game collapses.
It speaks to the youth at the Spurs. That's what it speaks to. It's kind of like how, you were like, oh, they're too young. You heard that about the Thunder. Honestly, they're too young, and they figured it out because they have just unbelievable top to bottom talent. Spurs do too, but that's a very young team led by a very young player. I think people forget how young Victor Wembanyama is. That just shows me the youth. That's all it is. It's just youth because it's not like they're not talented. It's not like the Spurs can't win games, but they've had 2 games in closeout situations that they've let the Knicks come back and take over, and it just they were frazzled. You just saw them; they were completely rattled.
Just holding the basketball.
Victor Wembanyama at one point, what was it, 2 games ago, threw it into the back of Stephon Castle, right into his back. That is the nerves of like, all right, we got to go, but you also have to make sure that the team is looking at you.
Yeah, the coach could call a timeout. There are a lot of things the Spurs could have done. It's just...
That's the youth. That's the youth of this.
Yeah. Now, is that series over to you? We talked earlier about how that loss...
I think the Spurs win 1 in San Antonio. But
so do I.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't? You think it's over, right?
You think it's done?
That game...
I think it's over, but I think
the series is over. I don't think that...
I think the Spurs win 1 in
the way
San
that
Antonio.
game ended, I don't know if they can get up off of that.
That's where their youth does come into effect.
I'm going to bet...
Yeah. They actually... I mean, for them, it's like, oh, well, we're young.
I'm going to bet big Spurs win.
Ooh, okay.
Like a big Spurs win.
I had a Spurs that I bet in January, plus 850.
Maybe cash that one out.
No, I'm going to bet a big Spurs win Game 5. Like a big, one of those ones where the Knicks almost take their eye off the ball a little bit.
I may have cashed it out in the third quarter.
Did you really?
That's probably a good move.
It was $50 at that point. I was like,
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and cash that.
Get what you can get out of it. Now,
$49.75.
I didn't know about this. Like, I want to talk NHL Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals. I want to bring up a little bit of World Cup, but we might have to burn all of that. Nick Earnshaw, this is you who put this on the board?
Yeah, I did.
That apparently, so you made a bet with a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
That if they win the finals, you have to go to the parade?
Yeah, I have to go to the parade.
Why would you ever make that bet?
Because I never thought they would win.
Really? Wait. When did you make this bet?
This has been going on for years.
Did you make this bet in January?
No, about like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
10 years ago. So I made this guy go to the Eagles
Well, that's actually
parade.
a good bet then.
Oh, you made him go to the Eagles
You've been living
parade.
life.
Yes. Every time a Philadelphia team wins.
Okay, so
he has to go
anytime
to that
any New
parade.
York team. Well, in your defense, it's been a really long time.
Karma's catching up with me for what I did.
No,
today,
I think
that
that's
parade.
that's
a good
Yeah, a
bet.
decade out of it. I'd say you got your money's worth.
Yeah.
Sean had
twice.
Sean had this bet with a friend of his who's a Yankees fan, and it was in 2001. The Yankees had just won the World Series, and he was like, I bet the Phillies in the next 25 years win more World Series than the Yankees. And right now it's tied at 1.
It's tied at 1.
It's wild. And I think the bet is now done because it's 2020. I'm
It's-
pretty
yeah,
sure
you've
they
had
made
enough.
it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they made it in 2001.
Maybe this is the year that the Phillies get that bet won. They find a way to
He
win
never
it all.
used this.
Need to even it up here, Connor, at the end of the year.
Hey, by the way, if you're going to the Knicks championship parade, if and when they do win the finals, maybe helmet. I don't know.
I have to wear a Knicks jersey. I have to wear
What?
the
Then
garb.
you'll
you know
be
what?
fine.
Then you'll be
Dumb I
safe.
am.
You'll
Yeah.
be no.
Wait a minute.
That's actually very smart.
No, that's
Nick.
yeah.
Wear
Did
a
you-
Knicks jersey.
Did you make this dude wear Eagle stuff to
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it
Well,
sounds
I
fair.
deserve
These are
it.
great bets.
Like,
That's
do
a
you like
great
this
bet.
person?
Yes.
I guess.
They,
He's a buddy I've known for a long time.
Like
Right.
at our old radio station, we would always have a thing about the people who lost fantasy bets and what the best competitions, but for leagues, we would give away prizes for the best punishments. And one of them was the guy one year who had to go sell Girl Scout cookies on a Saturday door to door.
That's fun. I feel like I could flip some Girl Scout
dressed
cookies.
as a Girl Scout,
I'd buy those
Yeah.
cookies.
and he had to go dressed as a Girl Scout.
Girl Scout cookies.
And
That's nothing. That's a fun weekend.
Yeah, that's a good
and
one.
he had to go door to door. By the way, I think he sold over $600.
Of course he did. Because look at
people
it.
were having fun with
yeah,
it.
wouldn't you enjoy that? Like,
And he had the
this is
sign.
funny.
So there's stuff like that. Then there was the person who had to go, the adult who had to go trick or treating.
Yeah, I saw a video of someone
Yeah, I
doing
think
that
I've seen
recently.
that.
This
Yeah.
trick or treating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, these are that's fine. It's harmless,
Especially with
fun.
the sign there. It's like, I get it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
get it.
I'd be a lot more worried about going to
Yeah, if Nick wasn't,
New York right
if you
now.
weren't going to wear a Knicks jersey, I would be concerned for you.
yeah.
So
I
I'm glad
would've
that
worn
that's
something
going to be.
plain.
No,
but,
I feel like you got to go all in.
Those fans,
they'd sniff you out.
This is a detriment to me. This is my nightmare.
Oh, I think that's
Also, just being in New York for that parade is going to be bananas.
Yeah, it's wild. Listen, we would never
I would tell
act
you
like
this.
that in Philadelphia. I'll
No,
tell you what.
we would never.
Never.
Nick, don't drive up. Take train.
Oh, we will. We're probably
Okay.
going to stay there the night before.
Okay, make sure you take the train.
I've hypothetically, we've already figured
I was
this
going to
out.
say, you've already got
And
the
I've used
logistics.
the word hypothetically every time.
Yeah, well, I feel like
Well, I
that's
think
going
it's
to
pretty
be a
much
reality
happening.
at
Get
this
ready
point.
for it now.
Sorry,
So
Nick.
we've got the NBA Finals where Nick will potentially be going to the parade. The Canes just took a 3-2 lead over the Knights last night in the Stanley Cup Finals. So we'll see how that one rounds out. I've been rooting for the Canes only because of the optics of John Tortorella
They're
getting
in our
fired here.
division.
I don't care. I don't have beef with Carolina.
Why are you rooting for? First of all,
like
you're rooting for the team
Roderick.
that knocked out the Flyers.
I like
and
that.
you're rooting for a team that's in our
Sometimes-
division.
I like how they
One,
play.
I enjoy, and this is kind of like my weird fandom. Sometimes, and by sometimes I mean almost always, I like if the team beat my team to go all the way because it makes me feel better. Like,
Yeah.
like the Raptors. Oh, well, at least they won it. We were the only team to give them 7. Oh, we took
Okay.
it. We had so they were the best team.
At least
clearly,
there's logic behind that.
there was clearly the best team. So that's kind of my thought process. I justify that every March Madness too.
Yeah, well,
Look, my team didn't get to the Final
Kentucky
Four, but
didn't
the
win
team,
this time,
but the team that beat them did.
Wow.
you got to find a way to rationalize end of
Yeah,
season
but
losses.
for me, I like if the team
I
that
can't
beat my
root for.
team.
I'm not rooting for
goes all the way.
Dallas or the
Well,
Giants
No.
or the Commanders.
Don't pretend like the Carolina Hurricanes have the same rivalry with the Flyers as the Dallas
No,
Cowboys.
they
do
don't.
with
But they're
the
in our
Eagles.
division.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
You're still not rooting for a team in your division.
Yeah.
You're not rooting for the Phillies.
And I
Aren't
will
rooting for
say,
the Mets.
Stop.
In football, I don't
Mets,
know that
Nationals?
would be true. I'd have to think about that.
Never
Would you rather root for the
Cowboys.
Mets, Nationals?
I could root for the Nationals.
Would you root? What?
I could
No,
root.
The
No.
Nationals. I have a lot of vitriol for the
I
Nationals.
hate the Nationals.
I've never had any
Attitude.
The
I hate it.
natitude to me.
Natitude.
Yeah.
It was such a reverse thing. Like, oh, look at our natitude. I'm going to look at the empty seats you have. That's what I'm looking
Could
at.
you root for the? I'm trying to think.
There's
In
players that I liked.
basketball,
But
I got to tell you, I don't know the divisions well enough in basketball.
Yeah, well, not a lot of people do. You're not alone.
The Nets are in their division, right?
Like, I'm not rooting for the Knicks. I'm not rooting for the Celtics. But like, unless it's
never.
one of those.
There are some folk around here that are rooting for the Knicks,
Which is ridiculous.
it's
Villanova.
not. It's
That's
not.
so stupid.
It's both that and the fact that it's like, well, they beat us.
And by the way, it's a lot of the people who are doing it. A lot of them are the
Villanova.
Walmart alumni of Villanova, and I call them the Walmart alumni because they don't have parchment from Villanova. They just root for Villanova. So they go to Walmart, they buy a Villanova shirt, and then they're like the loudest, obnoxious people about Villanova.
My Walmart does not sell Villanova shirts.
Yours doesn't. Ours does. Oh, my God.
Well, you must be in Villanova country.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
You're
But-
further out.
Yeah, it's just, please.
We'll see how those play out.
She's right in the middle
Listen,
of Villanova country.
I do not like the Knicks. Do not at all. It's just I look at them. I'm like, ugh, gross. But I can't root against Mikal Bridges. Like that's real hard for me.
Yeah,
because he's exactly who you would want to play on the Sixers. He plays the right way. He's the perfect 3-and-D player.
What laundry is he wearing?
So that's
I can root against him.
So like when he's like struggling, I do not take joy in Mikal Bridges' struggles. But when the Knicks lose, I'm like,
it's a team thing for sure. Also,
That's
Team
funny.
USA plays tonight against Paraguay, so we'll be watching
What time's that?
9 p.m.
That's
that
not bad.
game will
Friday
kick
night,
off.
9 o'clock.
Friday night, so I'll be going out to the
school's
bar.
out, John.
Yeah,
No, Friday night's not bad. But some of these games.
you got?
I have to tell you, speaking of late games, Shawnee, I made him go to sleep at 10:30, and he was up in his room. I can hear him, and he goes, "Mom, they're only down 18," because he wanted to watch the end of the Knicks Spurs game 2 nights ago. And I was like, "Buddy, it's 10:30. It's second to last day. You got to go to sleep."
Yeah.
Wakes up. I hear him 7 a.m. He pulls his iPad out, goes to his ESPN app. Oh my God! I was like, "Oh man, Mom, if I had stayed," I was like, "I'm sorry, friend.
I know.
Sorry.
I felt that way when I woke up from that one too.
Should have stayed.
Had
up.
like 70 text messages. Had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Figured it out pretty quick.
You
Oh
did.
man, that damn New York team. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk about something that I think anybody, regardless of fan base, should be a fan of. John has some numbers from something interesting going on around baseball and the start times for games. We'll also get a check in on our Twitter poll. A lot still to come here on Kincaid and South Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and South Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, let's get a check-in on our Twitter poll of the day, brought to us, as always, by Dr. Avidan Appel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. Nick, what is our Twitter question?
Our Twitter question today is, how do you feel about the Eagles now compared to when the team walked off the field against the 49ers? Feel better, feel the same, or feel worse?
And our results so far, have we knocked down the percentage of people who are saying feel worse? It was at 11% last time we checked it.
It is staying at 11%. Feel better is at 59%. And feel the same is at 30%.
Okay, so we've lost some of the feel the same people. Well, we've gotten more votes rather, because you can't change your vote, but we've gotten more on the side of feel better. I can't understand the 11% that say they feel worse today than when the Eagles walked off the field against the Niners.
I think it's got to be AJ.
It's AJ and some of the unknown on the offense, I think. And honestly, I mean, you could put some of that on. You got to run the ball in order to throw the ball. They did not run the ball well last year because the line was banged up. We all know that. The numbers were way down, and the shift was way down as far as the play calls, right, for the run game versus the pass game. So I think that you have to, for me, if I'm looking at like, why would I not feel as confident? Like, well, I need to make sure that offensive line is healthy because they are absolutely key. I mean, we had Cam Jurgens going down to get stem cells. He feels great.
Yep.
That's very important. You need Lane Johnson to feel great. You need Landon Dickerson to be back feeling great. That is huge, not just for Jalen Hurts and the new motion offense and all the under center and all the other stuff. That's very key, but also for the run game, which sets up the pass.
Yeah, but these are fixing problems that existed last year when they walked off the field.
The raised voice. Yeah. Sets up the pass.
Because it's one of those things. People are like, "Oh, you don't need to run." I'm like, "That's how it works."
If they don't fix it, you're just in the same spot you were when you walked off the field. If they fix one of those things, they're in a better spot. That's why I can't understand. But we'll see what that does in the 9 o'clock hour as we continue to check in on the Twitter poll. Now, John, you have numbers on the start time for Major League Baseball.
By the way, did you? I more want to start the conversation with is, how do you? Because I know that our own Ray Dunn hates the change in start times.
He does not
in
like the
baseball.
6:45.
He does not like the early start times in baseball. Where do you guys fall on that before I present the data to you of how America feels about it?
I like it.
If they could play every game at 1 p.m., I'd have them play every game at 1.
Well, I know that, but I know that you love afternoons.
You mean the 6:40
what do you
as
think
opposed
about
to the 7 o'clock?
starting games in the 6 o'clock hour? How do you feel about it?
I like it.
It's great. Yeah, the earlier the better for me.
Yeah, I'm pro earlier.
Sports Business Journal had the review of it and how much it has changed and how many teams have moved it around. But Philly fans, just changing games from 7:05 to 6:45, how much back in 2022 is when these game time changes. It has grown right now, moving the games earlier. The local time It is now 41.7% of weekday starts moved to earlier times. To right now,
Home
it
games.
has changed. The home games.
Yeah.
It is now how much it has changed though viewership, how much it has changed attendance, how much it has changed thing, and not just Philadelphia. Across Major League Baseball, teams that have now moved start times before 7 p.m., not one has seen a decrease in attendance. Not one has seen a decrease in viewership. I'm shocked at the viewership number, but that's why it's great to have Amy here for the discussion, and I'm glad you put this in when Amy's here. I'm shocked that that's the case because now what I do is I always come to Phillies games a lot of times late, and we'll do through YouTube TV, catch up through key plays a lot of times because I can't get in at 6:40 to it, so I get in at like 7, whatever. But not one team in Major League Baseball has seen a drop in viewership, a drop in attendance. How about this one for you, though? Over 85% have seen a raise in television television viewership. Have seen raises in their viewership.
So what year did this start?
This is this is data. They now have 3 years of data to go off of. This is the fourth.
Okay. So it started
2022.
So no, they have full
here in Philadelphia. That was a really good year.
In 2022 in Philadelphia, but the last 3 years of data they have for all of Major League Baseball.
I think there's a lot of things that are going to go behind that. One, I think baseball has had a bit of a renaissance as a whole. I think people are more into it because of the quick pace and because of the earlier time. It's always been something here in Philadelphia, so I think it's important to look at Philadelphia and then as a whole, because Philadelphia, it's just what people do. It's the summer, you watch the Phillies. It doesn't matter if the Phillies are the worst team in baseball or the best team in baseball. Yes, there's more, fans that are kind of on the fence that'll, I got to make sure I watch. But it's almost always on people's televisions, and we're so thankful, especially at NBC Sports Philadelphia. But also, people's habits have changed. Right, people are done work earlier. People are working from home earlier, so they're able to get to those games now.
Never thought about the working from home.
And that is a big deal. So you can wrap up your work day at 5 o'clock, and you're at home. So you can drive on into the game. It might take you an hour because other people are working, but you're going to get there. If you leave at 5:30, no matter where you are, you're going to get there before the game starts. As opposed to, I'm done with work at 5 o'clock. Now I have to drive all the way home, and now I have to get everybody, and now we're back out the door, and there's no way I'm making 6:45. It would never happen.
And
that's a huge thing when you're, as far as like going in person. Now at home, then you just,
you just turn
the
on
crock
the TV.
pot on.
That's
Like John
easy
loves
enough.
crock pot meals. That crock pot's been cooking all day, John, for you.
Is it the pea green crock pot?
It's not stew.
The crock pot that
Not
is
stew.
green.
It's summertime.
Pea green.
We're making like buffalo chicken in there.
Oh, that's
not
some
bad.
beautiful
Taco
stuff.
meat.
Get that ready. Hey, you got a good one to be on time for tonight as the Phils take on the Brewers.
Be
up
on
in
time
Milwaukee.
for that one.
Jake Mizrowski goes for the Brewers. Andrew Painter for the Fightins. So a little bit of a pitching mismatch by the numbers. We'll see if the Phillies
You
offense
take the word little out of there.
a tiny little bit. Marginal difference. The Phils have their work cut out for them in this one. We've got our work cut out for us when it comes to a certain contract situation in Philadelphia. If I said the first name Jalen, you might think I'm talking about the quarterback. But we're talking defensive line. Amy, we talked about Jalen Carter yesterday. I'm interested in how worried you are about what we've seen in mandatory minicamp and a little bit more on the Eagles with the contract. Bill Barnwell said generally what it could be for Carter. Is that palatable? We'll talk next on Kincaid and South Tunis.